Hi guys, we're going to try to do this again. Hopefully this will work this time. I changed the internet signal and see hopefully this will work. So we're going to go ahead. Let me go back to where I was. Hi Robin. Let me go back to where I was. So we're making this card here. There's a gift card and it's made with an envelope. So what you're going to do is you're going to fold your envelope in half and you're going to cut it here on the side, on the seam or the fold line, and then you're going to adhere this flap down on the top part. And what we're doing is we're working on this part right here. So what I did was I went ahead and I put my layers together, and then I put my brad through and I attached it here. Now before I attach this here, I put my baker's twine underneath here to put it on. So we're going to continue on from there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my ornament. Now again, my ornament was stamped with the gold metallic ink. However, that is no longer available through Stampin' Up, but you can get that at other places. So you could still use gold ink. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere that right here. And then I had already went ahead and tied my ribbon, and I am using the Shaded Spruce, what's this one called? The Shaded Spruce striped ribbon. Now this is in the holiday catalog, but this one is going to be retiring, being discontinued. So once that one is gone, it is gone. There won't be any more available. Now again, on the punches, let me get them out again so I can show you. These are the ornament punch pack. Now these are going to be carried over into our 2020 holiday catalog. So what that means is once this set catalogs, they sell out right now, don't worry, they will be coming back in the fall. Same thing with the stamp set and with the paper that I had originally used on this one. This will be carried over, so you can get that next year in the fall. So we're going to go ahead. Hope the other ones that were joining me before my computer went bonkers can join us back. Okay, whoops. All righty. You know what? I'm going to take a second and go on my phone and tell them I restarted again. Here, please bear with me. Let's see here. Oh, that's not what I want to do. Me and this. Oh. Okay, come on, let me out of this. Okay, let's see here. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to get back in there. It's not letting me in where I want to go. Okay, that's the one I just started. Let me quick comment. Please join me on my new Facebook. I post. Internet went out. Okay. All righty. Make sure that gets posted. Okay. All right, here we go. So now this is where we are at in here. So when you can take this and wrap it around here. And there you go. Now, this is really long. I made it too long. So what you can do once you wrap it a couple of times, then I would come in and I would cut that a little bit because you don't need it that long. And there you go. And so that's our first one. Okay, let's go on to our second one. Let me take care of this. Okay, our next one we're going to make is this lovely one right here. Now, oh, you know what? I didn't finish this. I totally forgot to adhere this. Oh my goodness, I put it off on the side. And I totally forgot to decorate the top. This is where you're going to add this piece on here. All right. And this just kind of helps cover up that flap there. And there you go. Now you can wrap it around here. Voila, and there you go. Okay, so we got that one done. Where did I? Oh, here it is. Okay. So this is the one that we're going to be making next. This time we are going to be using shaded spruce again. I'm going to be using the wrapped in plaid again. Okay, so now we have shaded spruce, and this is cut at 2 3/4 by 11, and you're going to score it at 3, 3 1/4, and 7 1/4. We have our wrapped in plaid, and you're going to cut one at 2 5/8 by 2 5/8, one at 2 5/8 by 2 7/8. We are going to use our, I forgot to grab those. Let me quick grab those. Okay. Now on this one, I use the layering circles. I use this one was this one right here. I use this one, and this one is the 2 inch or 2 1/4 inch punch. Let me see. This is the 2 1/4 inch circle punch. So, and then this was cut out with the pine tree punch from the wrapped in plaid or perfectly plaid designers. Oh my goodness. From the perfectly plaid suite. Okay, so I'm using the classic label punch. I cut this from punched. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. That's goodness gracious. Okay, Joycey. I used the itty bitty Christmas stamp set for this. And so I used the Christmas cheer one here. I stamped it in the shaded spruce, and I used the classic label punch to punch that out. Now we're going to use this in another place too. One thing I want to tell you about this one, I did not design this one. This one I got in a swap by the famous Dawn Griffith from Dawn Stampin' Dogs, and I just loved it. So I asked her if it was okay if I made it, and she said absolutely. So thank you, Dawn, for that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to fold on our crease lines. And we have 2 lines here. And they're pretty close, but you want to get that push. Okay, and crease. Now, as you can tell, it is rounded on the corners here. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to go ahead, and this is our detail trio punch. Now, you can have 3 different, this is a little circle, a little flower, and a round corner rounder. But actually, when you don't want to go punch on that side, when you punch, make sure I'm punching the right one down. I want to do this one. You want to push it down in the center. So that's what I'm going to do. Go ahead and, oops, this one didn't punch nice. I don't think I had it in all the way. There we go. Okay, so now we are going to put, I think this is, nope, I need the longer piece on the front. Yeah, I need a longer piece here. So what you're going to do is you're going to round the corners of the longer piece. It's going to go on the front of your project. So what we're going to do, move that out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to adhere this with some snail. Thanks. There we go. Okay, and then we can go ahead. Let's adhere this on here. Okay, I keep hitting something. Okay. Now I am using the gold on this one. The copper was used on this one. I'm using the gold because of the gold stripe in there. Now, I am going to show you a trick with the Christmas tree. So we're going to go ahead and I want to pop this up. So let me get the dimensionals for this. That on there. Now, if you can see, this one is a little bit smaller than, see how it's smaller? But how do you get that? Well, I'm going to show you a trick. And this is where your take your pick tool is going to come in handy. Remember how you have this part here that's sticky? I'm actually going to take that off because I've used it quite a bit. So and when you want more, just turn this a little bit and it's going to grow up a little. It's going to come out. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your tree, and now this is from the punch, and you're going to slide it in here. Now sometimes I can slide it in this way, but what I usually do is go like this and bring it down and grab it here, move it down. So take your pick and move it where you want it, because this is sticky, so you can move it. So I'm going to put it right there. That looks good to me. Just need to move it over just a little. And then I'm going to punch. And now I have a smaller tree. Voila! Oh, I guess I had a little crooked, but that's okay because trees are not perfect. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put a dimensional on that because we're going to want to pop that one up too. And put it right there. Okay, so we're going to set that off to the side. Let me set that right there for a minute. Okay, so now when you open it up, look how cool that is. Your card, let me grab this one that I use for my turn tape, fits right in there. Isn't that neat? So what you're going to do, though, is you're going to put, did I cut this wrong? I did. I cut this the wrong size. Uh-oh, spaghetti-o. Let me see here. I did. I cut that off big time wrong. Oh my goodness. Okay, that should have been, you know what? I cut it at 2 5/8 instead of 3 5/8. I sure did. Okay, so let me grab a piece of just paper. Okay, let's see here. Should have enough left from, yep, I do. I should, okay. Let me make sure before, yes, it will work. Okay, let me get out my cutting thing. Okay, I need to move some of this stuff out of my way because I didn't plan on bringing this out, but we'll do it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is recut this because I cut it at the wrong size. We need to cut this at 2 5/8 by 3 5/8. And I will go in on my blog and I will change that because I have it wrong on my blog. So I will go in and change that on my blog. So we need it 2 5/8. So we have, right here is the, let me show you where the 5/8 would be. So here is 2 1/2. Oops, that my lights are glaring. Okay, there we go. So there's 2 1/2. And you're just going to go over to the second line, and that's going to be your 8. So we need 2 5/8 by 3 5/8. And 5/8. Perfect. Okay. And I bet this will fit the right way. Let's see here. There we go. Yep, that's what we wanted. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to adhere this with, oops, grab this stuff out of the way, my snail. There we go. Okay. However, though, we need to get this punched here. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip this over here. And we're going to push it in as far as it will go in. And we want to try to get this as in the middle as possible. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to line up. So the space from the edge of my paper to the edge of the punch is the same on each side, and punch. Now you're gonna have to push a little bit harder because you're going through 2 pieces of paper instead of just 1. So now, most people think, oh, we need to adhere this with snail or tear and tape. Nope. What you want to do, though, is you want to adhere it with dimensionals. And the reason for that is, and you're going to put one up here on each corner, and the reason for that is you want to be able to slide your card in. There we go. And see, you can slide your card. Oh, nope, I'm going to have to make that a little bit bigger. Shoot, 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 shoot. And you know what? I already put dimensionals on that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my dimensional off because I need to slide this back into my punch. And it's not going to fit if my punch is in there. So what I need to do is, see, it's not quite wide enough. So I'm going to go back in here and push it all the way in. And that's where I was at. That's where I punched it, right? So I want to do a little bit wider. So I'm just going to go a little bit. On this side, I'm doing maybe 1/8 of an inch. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to do maybe 1/8 of an inch. There we go. And, oh, that one wasn't very straight, was it? See what I did here? Can you see how that's not perfectly straight? So go back in and just fix it. All you have to do. Go back in and line it up. I did not line that up properly. There we go. And now it writes. So what I'm going to do before I adhere it, make sure that this will fit in here. Yes, it does. Perfect. Okay, so now I can put new dimensionals on there. It's been a while since I made these. So there we go. Perfect. So we're going to go ahead and close that. And where did our circle go? Okay. So now I need to put this on here, and I'm going to, let's pop it. Let's pop this up. Okay. Now, don't get rid of all this on the side. Go ahead and cut those and use the outside pieces of your dimensionals. I use all the pieces that I can. Now I have a pair of scissors. That is all I use those scissors for. These are cutting dimensionals or anything that has tape on them. Actually, I'll leave those out because I'll use these up today. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put that right here. I'm just centering this. I need to move it up just a little bit. There we go. That's much easier. I'll put it flat. Okay. There. So now I'm also going to pop up my Christmas cheer. And for that, I'm going to use a skinny slit piece like right here on the side because they fit perfect there. Or you can use our mini dimensionals, work great on the classic label too. I'm going to put this, whoops. There we go. Okay, perfect. And there you go. How cool is that? Love it. Okay, so that was number 2. So let me clean up my area here because I don't know if you are like me, but if everything is all jumbled right next to me, I feel like I'm closing in and then I cannot function and it drives me bonkers. So I'm just going to put a couple things away here. Okay, so let's put these off to the side because, whoops, we are done with this one. Okay, let's get out our next one. Okay, we're done with this one, so that out there off to the side. So our next one we're going to make, let's make this fast one right here. Okay, so for this one, we're going to use lots of cheer stamp set. Now this is in the annual catalog, so you can get that anytime. And let's pull out my little cheat sheet again, because I had so many different sizes here of different things that I got out little cheat sheets. Okay, so we're going to use the sentiment right here. May your Christmas be wrapped up in holiday spirit. So this is the one that I had made. Now this paper is the Feels Like Frost. Hi Kay, thank you for joining me. This one, the paper is it's already, what do I want to say, sold out, but this is another one that is going to carry over into the holiday 2020 catalog. So don't get, if you want it, you will be able to get it then. But I went ahead and I changed it up a little bit because I wanted to use products that you can get now. So our Night of Navy is at 3.5 by 8.5. You're going to score it at 2 and at 6. And our designer series paper is called The Night Before Christmas. And we're going to score, this is going to be cut at 3.25 by 1 3/4 and 3.25 by 2 1/4. And then we have just a scrap of cherry cobbler. And I went ahead and I stamped it and I cut this out with using 2 dies. The cherry cobbler is from the Layering Ovals. Goodness, I can't talk tonight. And the Very Vanilla is cut with our stitch shapes. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's put this on our cherry cobbler. Okay, let's fold our lines. And then this one. Now again, we're going to be using the Detail Trio and cut our corners. Oops, almost cut the wrong one. I want this one, the little one. You want the where you have the 2-inch. That's for the one you want to cut. Or not cut, punch. Okay, the same thing. We're going to do our designer series paper. Now, but one thing you want to make sure is that you have it going the wrong way. I wasn't paying attention the first time I was doing this on the, not this paper, I was using a different paper, and I punched the wrong way. My thing was going upside down. So you know what I did? I flipped my paper over and used the other side. And then it looks good. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to hear this again, just using snail adhesive. Okay, and then we're going to put this piece, is going to go right here. Now, one thing you want to do is, I use tear and tape on this one. And I'm going to put this right on both sides. Now, you want to make sure that you are as close to your edge that you can get there, because you want to leave room for your gift card. If you put it too far over, there's not going to be room to slide it in. Now, you don't have to put anything down here because you are going to be folding this up. Whoops. Here we go. Are you guys ready for Christmas? I'm almost getting there, slowly but surely. I think I'm almost done with the shopping. Just a couple little things I need to get. But I have been busy baking because I give my daycare kid families each a goodie bag. And I'm almost done with that too. And see how your card will just slip in there? How do we close this? Well, voila. Here comes my lovely Velcro that I love so much, our 3/8 inch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these off. Let me do this. Put the bottom one on first. Okay, and I'm going to put that, actually, no, I'm doing it. Oops. I'll put this one right on the edge. There we go. That'll fit there. Then you go ahead and you put this one right on top of that one and then close it. It's going to be right there, right on the edge, so it fits perfect. Okay, so now we want to go ahead and we're going to add dimensionals to this one. I love these little Velcro pieces. And oh, it's right here. Oh, I put them away because I was cleaning it up. I get for cleaning it up. Oops. Just found another sheet that has the edges that I need to use too. Okay. So we'll go ahead and put this one right here. And voila, you are done with this. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. That was an easy one. Okay, so here's the one I originally made, and here's the one we made tonight. Now again, all the measurements and everything are on my blog. I will be putting this video on the blog, but also I will go in and I will correct that measurement on our, the last one we just made. On this one, I will correct the measurements for that. Okay, so this one is really cute, and I love, love, love this paper. I wish I had ordered more because they're sold out of that paper too, but that's okay. We have other paper we can use. So you open this one up, and your gift card is going to slide in right here. It's going to go like that. Voila! How cool is that? So this one may look a little bit tricky, but guess what? It's not. So let me go ahead and get this one. Now we're going to be using, I'm still going to use the Snowman Season stamp set. And I'm going to use the Let It Snow. And we're going to use, this is another design. Oops, my little cheat sheet again. This is another design of the paper from the Perfectly Plaid paper. Move this off to the side. Okay, so your first paper is going to be at 4 1/4 by 11, and you're going to score at 4 1/2, 5 1/2, and 6 1/2. Hi, Carol. Thank you for joining. And then your designer series paper is going to be at 4 by 4 1/4. You're going to have another piece of the cherry cobbler that is 11 inches by 1 inch, but we will trim that down a little bit. Your Whisper White is going to be at the same size, 4 by 4 1/4. And then you have a 2-inch circle and a 1 3/4 inch circle. You could use the layering circles to cut this out, or you could, if you have the retired punch of 1 3/4, you could use that. But again, like I said, I went ahead and I did the stamping and the punching of the sentiments just because we are doing so many things, putting together 5 of them. I didn't want you to be here all night, although I would have loved it. So here's this one, and on the bottom here, I took this snow from the same stamp set, Snowman Season, and I used this Let It Snow and the snowflakes. And I just stamped them down there randomly. There was no certain way I did that. Okay, so let's get to our main page. So now on this one, you got 3 score lines, and we want to make this part stand out. So what you're going to do is you're going to fold it in half on the 5 1/2 inch line. And you fold these in half. Then you're going to bring this flap back up. like this. And you're going to do the same thing on this side, bring it back up like this, and you're going to make a W. Now, when you make your W, you're going to take your tear and tape, and you're going to put it on the edge of just one of them. So this is your long flap. So that first edge right here at your 4.5-inch score line, you're going to put a piece of tear and tape. Now, the reason we're using tear and tape is because you want to keep that very secure. However, you want to make sure that you keep it as far down as you can because you need to be able to slip in your card. So we're going to go ahead and take this off. And you can just fold it down like that and seal it. So you can just fold your paper in half and then seal that. Okay, now this part right here, we're going to use the classic label punch again. If I can find out, oh, here it is. Okay, so now with this, what you're going to do is fold it in half again, and you're going to have your fold is right here. You're going to go ahead and you're going to go in, and you're going to go, you want it, let me think how I did it. Okay, I lined it up so that the side here was even, and then I did it so that, let me get this lined up before. Okay, see how it's right at the point is how I did that. Okay, I moved up a little bit. Okay, and then punch. And it goes flying. It really goes flying, not sure why. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Line it up on the side here, and then line it up with this corner here. You want it at the point here, and you want this part right here. This is already punched out, so you want that lined up with this that you've already punched. Punch. Now, whoops. That one got me in the face. Now, if I remember correctly, I think I need to go a little bit wider. Let's see here. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to slide your card in between these two pieces of paper here. Oh, nope, it fit perfect. And there you go. And that's where you're going to put your card. Isn't that cute? So what we're going to do is go ahead and take this out. And we're going to put the piece on here, our white, that we have already stamped with snowflakes on it. And we're going to put that in here. Just center it on there. Remember, do your 3 sides that are even. Put your finger here, drop it, and it's going to be perfectly lined up. Now we're going to go to the outside, and we're going to put our designer series paper on it the same way. Line up your 3 sides. These 3 are even. Hold your finger there, drop it, and it's going to be perfectly centered. Okay, so there we have our gift card. But how do we keep it shut? Woo, keep popping open. Well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to put this band on it. However, when you go to wrap it, make sure you don't do it real tight. You want to be able to move it up and down. So what I do is, I know my sentiment is going to go right here. So that is going to cover my seam. So I'm going to start there, and I'm just gently wrapping around. Like I said, I'm not pushing it tight, but I want it snug. I don't want it to where you can't move it. And before I do anything, I check it like this. Well, that's a little too loose. So let's do it again. And we're going to pull it up just a little bit tighter. And there we go. Let's try it. Perfect. Okay, so I have it right where I want it. Now, see how far this goes over? It goes way over here. Well, this is how I fix that. I'm going to put a piece of tearing tape right there on this edge. And then I'm going to take that off. And I'm going to adhere this down. Like that. Okay, now I'm holding this up because it's just, I don't know why I'm holding it up. Oh, I don't, oh, use this. So I don't have my paper snips. We're going to have, and I'm just going to trim it right there. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be straight because you're going to cover that up when you put on your sentiment. Now, so I know that my sentiment is going to be in the right spot. I'm not putting my adhesive on my circle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my dimensional on here so I know it's going to be at the right spot. Yeah, I guess we're going to use these two because they came off. Okay, so I want this right here. Okay, so I'm going to put it right here and right here. Now I do put two on just because it's going to be coming on and off. You could use one. I just want to make sure that it's secure. Excuse me. My voice has been doing this all day. It comes and goes. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just center this on here. Now, we need to add a little bit of bling to this. Let me get out my rhinestones. And I'm going to go ahead and take my paper piercer. I'm going to use one of each side. So I'm going to put the real big one on the bottom. Our middle one size will go here. And then let's take a tiny one and go over here. Perfect. It added a little bit of bling. And voila, you're done. That is how you make that one. See, aren't these easy? Now, our next one, it is not difficult. It just has a couple more steps. Let me put these rhinestones away so I don't lose them. See what I do with my rhinestones and my pearls? I use one of our cases, our stamp cases, and then I covered it with, this was paper from last year's celebration, and then I mark it rhinestone. So my logo's butterflies, so I have butterflies all over my stamping studio. So I kept a lot of that paper. But there you go. So there's that one. Okay, here's our last one. Whoops, excuse me. Let me get a drink and see if that helps. Okay. So this is the last one that we're going to be making. You're going to lay this up like this, and your gift card is going to fit right in here. Whoop, and I just dropped my tape. Okay. So this is how it goes. And then it's going to tuck in right here, like this. There you go. Perfect. Oops. Oh, there we go. And you lift this up. Voila, and that pops out. Okay, so let's go ahead and make this. Now, actually, everything is still available for this project except for the gold ink. But like I said, you can get that at other places. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to make this card just as is. So what we're using is, we are using the Perfectly Plaid stamp set. We've been using the tree that goes with this, the pine tree punch. So that's the one we're going to use. I use the Merry Christmas. Now I did stamp this again in the gold. And then this gold is from the Christmas Time is Here suite that is available while supplies last. Isn't that beautiful? I just love the ribbon. So we're going to use that ribbon. And I got about 16 inches, I think I cut. Yes, I did. It's on my cheat sheet. Gotta love my cheat sheets. Okay, so for this project, you're going to need a piece of cherry cobbler, and you're going to cut it at 4 1/4 by 11. You're going to score it, let's go this way, at 3 5/8, 3 1/4, and 9. And then you're going to get another piece of cherry cobbler, and this is going to be 3 3/4 by 6 1/2. You're going to score it at 1/2 inch and at 3 3/4 inch. Our gold pieces are going to be 3 by 4 and 1 3/4 by 4 inches. Our designer series paper is at 3 3/4 by 2 3/4 and by 1 1/2. Again, I used our layering ovals stamp set, dies for the sentiment. So I'm going to go ahead and put that sentiment on. And that way we have that done. And I punched out a tree from the gold foil. Now, one thing I did want to tell you, a tip. When you are cutting out anything with the gold foil paper, so if you're using a die with it, or anytime you're using your cutting machine, make sure your top plate is clean, has nothing on it, because otherwise it will make little indents on your gold paper. So you want to make sure you have that clean when you go to do that. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to start putting our big part together. So we're going to fold on our score lines. Now these two score lines are pretty close together, so you want to be careful when you score it. They're only 1/8 of an inch apart. So sometimes I use my fingers first before I use my bone folder to get that second one. First one's fine, it's that second one that's a little more challenging. There, because you just want that little gap, that little space there. Okay, so that is going to be our bottom piece. That's this piece right here, the main piece. So let's go ahead and adhere our paper to it. So we're going to go ahead and do the big piece first. And I'm just using snail on this. You could use anytime type anything really. If you want to use liquid glue, you could do that. Now I did not pop this part just because we are popping the sentiment and the tree. Now on this one, you're going to line yours up with these top three. You're going to have a space here that does not, it's going to be bigger than the other three sides. So you just want to make sure those three sides are lined up. So you're going to have that gap there, and that's okay because it's going to slide in here like this, and that's okay. So then you're going to do the same thing on the bottom. Put this on. Now I do want to let you know there will not be any Facebook Live for the next 2 weeks at least. I am going to actually take some time off and spend it with my family. Now I will have things already scheduled to appear on my blog and on my Instagram and Facebook pages, but I am going to pretty much disconnect as I want to spend this time. Emily is coming home. Will be our last Christmas with all 4 of us, because she will be getting married in the summer. So I am just going to spend some family time. So, and now let's go ahead on your next one. But I will have my last Merry Christmas Monday project. It will be on my blog next Monday, and you need to check it out. It's going to be so cool. Okay, so now we're going to do the centerpiece right here. So I'm going to pull this out so you can see. So what we're going to do, and I just folded that the wrong direction, and I scored that the wrong way. I scored that wrong. I'm just looking, because I think I was supposed to do it I was trying to do this in a hurry right before we came in, because I forgot to cut this one and before I started, and I think I scored it at the wrong size. Okay, so I needed to score at 1/2 inch and 4 3/4. And what did I do? 3 3/4. That needs to be 4. Let me write that down so I make sure I double check on my blog. I was measuring here, I didn't really check. 4 3/4. Okay, I'll check that. So what we need to do is I'm just going to go ahead and go in and just score this again at the correct spot. And I'm going to go ahead and still use this piece. Now, if I was giving, because this is going to just be a sample, I would have done this at, I would have redone it at a different piece. But like I said, this is just for me, so it's okay. All right, so then we want to fold this piece. That one's out, this piece goes up. There we go, that looks much better. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to put tear and tape on this section right here. Because you want to make sure that that is going to stay where it needs to, because it's going to be moving a lot with opening and closing. So, but one thing I want you to notice is, here is our seams. You're going to go up about a 1/2 inch from the crease. Don't go right on the crease. So we're going to move this, take this off. Okay. So for me, the easiest way for me to put this on is I'm going to open it up like this. And I'm going to turn it this way. Let me get this one out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. I'm turning it so the top flap is right here. And it is easier for me to line it up like this. So I'm going to put it up about a 1/2 inch and make it centered. And then just press it down. I'm going to go over it with my bone folder. And then this you're going to bring up like this. So this is going to tuck in between the two of these. And then when you lift it up, that's going to come up. Now, you're not going to put any tape here because this needs to be able to move. And if you put tape here, it's not going to move. It's going to stay right there. So how do we keep these pieces together? Well, this is how you're going to do it. You're going to take your ribbon. Let me bring this back so I can show you. Oops. Oh, why is that doing that tonight? Oh, I see why, because I don't, there. I'm trying to put it in between, it needs to go between the two pieces, and I was not doing that. Okay, so what you're going to do, you need to stick this one over this, and I was trying to put it under it, and that's why it wasn't going right. Okay, so take your ribbon, make sure it's flat on here, and what you're going to do is you're going to tie a pretty knot. Now, when I practice these, I can get them pretty every time. When I go to do it on camera, not so much. But we're going to try here. See if I can get a pretty knot. Not too bad. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. Not as pretty as that one, but we'll take it. Okay, so then we're going to trim the ribbon. Now, one thing that I did on mine is I stuck just one glue dot. I'm going to take your pick. And I just put it under the knot, just to hold it in place. I didn't put it anywhere else on the ribbon, just there. Now let's go ahead and decorate the front. And these I'm going to go ahead and pop, both of them. Oh, we got done with that piece of, what are these called, dimensionals? I swear my brain is not working tonight. Let's just do a long one. Okay. These off. And I just kind of put this at an angle like this. And then my tree. And voila, you have a fun gift card holder. Open it up like that, and there's where your gift card would go, right here. Perfect. So, well, I hope you enjoyed the gift cards. I'm doing it again. I'm trying to put it under that one. You don't do that. There, get down. There we go. Now you're doing it right. Okay. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed your lesson on how to make these. I guess it's not a lesson, is it? Reminder, I will be not doing a Facebook Live for at least the next 2 weeks, as I will be spending time with my family for the holidays. And let me show you these again. If you could be so kind as to share this, I would appreciate it. So this is the one we made. We made that one identical. So we made this one tonight. And this is the one that's on my blog. And then we have this one. And this one. Oops, let's put this one on top. Put the ones made. And this one we made tonight. Oops. Oh, come on. Wrap around. This twine is a little thicker, and I don't think I left that up high enough. There we go. Okay, and there you go. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, thank you, Kay. Thank you so much. You have a very Merry Christmas too. Oh, thank you. You guys have a great day and have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I will see you in the new year. Bye-bye. And there you go.